Lil Durk's legal team tried to challenge the serious charges against him and requested his release. However, U.S. Magistrate Judge Patricia Donahue denied the request after hearing arguments from both sides. Durk's lawyers, Drew Finning and Jonathan Brayman, described him as a talented artist, businessman, and philanthropist, emphasizing his strong family connections, including a wife, 8 children, and supportive parents. They offered a bail package that included $1 million in cash from his label, Sony Music, and $2.3 million in property assets. The proposal also included electronic monitoring, 24/7 security, and surrendering all his electronic devices. However, prosecutors opposed his release, arguing he was a flight risk and a danger to the community. They mentioned he had tried to leave the country before his arrest and claimed they had enough evidence to justify keeping him in custody. The judge decided to keep Lil Durk in custody, which did not surprise most people. She agreed with the prosecution, stating there were no conditions that could ensure the community's safety if he were released. The judge clarified that Durk wasn't accused of personally committing the crime, but of having significant influence over others. After the hearing, Durk was returned to federal custody. His family, including his wife, father, mother, brother, and over a dozen supporters, attended the hearing. Durk will remain in jail during the holiday season, as his trial is scheduled to begin on January 7, 2025, though it could be delayed further. Despite the unfavorable decision, Durk's legal team remained hopeful. After the hearing, his lawyer Brayman told Rolling Stone that Durk is strong and determined, and they will keep fighting in court. Brayman described Durk's difficult childhood and how music helped him escape poverty and support his family. He also stated that Durk denies ordering a group of men to target rival rapper Quando Rondo, real name Tawan Terrell Bowman. Prosecutors, however, claim Durk placed a bounty on Rondo as revenge for the death of someone close to him. The indictment accused Lil Durk of paying several men to travel from Chicago to Los Angeles, where they followed rival rapper Quando Rondo for hours before shooting at him at a gas station near the Beverly Center Mall in August 2022. Rondo survived, but his cousin, Sava Robinson, known as LPAB, was shot multiple times and died from his injuries. The indictment further claimed that Durk tried to profit from the shooting by rapping about it in the song Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy with Babyface Ray. It mentioned a news clip used in the song where Rondo could be heard screaming, "No, no," after seeing his cousin's body. Durk's lawyer, Drew Finning, strongly criticized the government for using his lyrics as evidence, calling it a misrepresentation of facts. Finning, who has represented high-profile clients like NBA YoungBoy, Donald Trump, and Cardi B, argued that the song had nothing to do with the shooting. He presented a sworn statement from the song's producer, proving it was recorded about 8 months before the incident. Finning emphasized that the lyrics were created in January 2022, long before the August shooting, and supported his claim with timestamps from the producer. Lil Durk's lawyer, Drew Finning, also denied FBI claims that Durk was trying to flee the country when he was arrested near Miami Airport in October. This happened on the same day authorities arrested his alleged co-conspirators in the murder-for-hire case. An FBI agent had previously stated that Durk booked 2 one-way flights to Switzerland and Dubai but never boarded them. He was later arrested while trying to board a private jet to Italy. Finning explained the situation, saying Durk often traveled to the UAE for work and religious reasons. He originally booked multiple flights to get there, but chose a private jet. Instead, after realizing his original tickets were for economy class with multiple stops, the plan was to stop in Italy briefly before continuing to the UAE. Despite Finning's arguments, prosecutors continued to oppose Durk's release, even with home confinement and electronic monitoring. Assistant U.S. Attorney Ian Yanell argued that Durk posed a significant threat, claiming he orchestrated the murder-for-hire plot rather than personally committing the crime. He said Durk approved the flights for his associates, who were traveling to Los Angeles as part of the plot. Lil Durk was further implicated in the murder plot when he allegedly sent a text message instructing that his name should not be linked to the flight bookings for his associates. Meanwhile, updates have continued in the murder-for-hire case involving Kayvon Grant, one of 5 members of Durk's Only the Family crew accused in the plot against Quando Rondo. On December 3, 2024, Grant's attorneys requested a protective order, expressing concern that sensitive case materials, such as witness statements, crime scene photos, and autopsy reports, could put witnesses in danger if made public. Judge Michael Fitzgerald granted the order on December 4th, explaining that it was necessary to protect the identities of witnesses involved in the investigation, as revealing their information could lead to intimidation or harm. Following the judge's decision, both sides agreed to censor sensitive material and limit access to those directly involved in the case. As Durk's trial approaches, new allegations have emerged, further complicating his legal battle. Recently unsealed court documents have linked him to the fatal 2022 shooting of an alleged gang leader, adding more challenges to his fight for freedom. Newly unsealed court documents have linked Lil Durk to the January 27, 2022, fatal shooting of 24-year-old Stephen Mack, an alleged gang leader. FBI Special Agent Thomas Callahan filed the warrant in April 2023, but it was revealed before Durk's detention hearing in his murder-for-hire case. According to the documents, Mack, the leader of the Smashville faction of the Gangster Disciples, was ambushed by gunmen outside the Youth Peace Center in Roseland, Chicago. The FBI linked Mack's death to the murder of Durk's brother, Dante Banks, who was shot outside a nightclub in South Suburban Harvey in 2021. The documents suggest the same gang faction was involved in both killings. Special Agent Callahan claimed that Durk sought revenge for his brother's murder and allegedly offered money to have those responsible killed, specifically targeting Gangster Disciples members. Although Durk has not been charged in this Chicago investigation, authorities confirmed the case remains active. Earlier this year, federal prosecutors charged 2 men, Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell, with conspiracy to murder Stephen Mack. While investigating the suspects, the FBI linked them to Durk through social media posts, jail calls, firearm purchases, and lyrics from Durk's song Aha, released about a month after Mack's death. The song appeared to reference the incident. The investigation into Stephen Mack's murder uncovered text messages between Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell that seemed to link them to Lil Durk and his OTF crew. These messages were found after Wilson was arrested on an unrelated charge a few weeks after Mack's death. A detective from the New Lenox Police Department applied for a warrant to search Wilson's phone, and the chats revealed shocking details. In one conversation from February 10, 2022, someone asked, "What's up with OTF?" And the response was, "Nothing." 8 days later, another message read, "Did Durk give you that money?" The messages indicated that Wilson and others were waiting for Durk to come to town on February 17th to pay them for killing Mack FBI agent. Callahan also showed photos of Durk and Wilson together and pointed to the lyrics of Durk's 2022 song, H.A., claiming it referred to Mack's murder. These new allegations are making Durk one of the most controversial figures in rap today. The rapper has had a long history of legal issues, dating back to 2011 when he was arrested for a weapons charge and served 3 months in jail. 2 years after his first arrest, Lil Durk was arrested again, this time for unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 18 months of probation, but this didn't stop him from getting into more trouble. During his probation, Durk was allegedly caught with 2 guns, leading to more weapon-related charges. However, the charges were dismissed after a judge ruled that Durk was not in possession or control of the guns, meaning he didn't violate his probation. After this incident, it seemed like Durk took a break from his criminal behavior, but in 2019, he was back in trouble. He and his close friend, the late King Von, were charged with attempted murder, among other charges, following a shooting in Atlanta. After a 3-year legal battle, The charges were dropped in October 2022. District Attorney Fannie T. Willis said that while there was probable cause for the arrest, the decision was made not to prosecute. Durk's lawyer, Manny Aurora, celebrated the decision, stating it took 3 years for the state to make the right choice. Durk didn't comment at the time, but he would have been relieved to have the attempted murder charges dropped. However, as has often happened, Durk found himself in even more trouble, continuing his cycle of legal issues. On October 25th, Lil Durk was arrested in Florida on charges related to a murder-for-hire plot that led to the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, El Pab, in August 2022. His arrest came just a day after 5 members of Durk's hip-hop crew, OTF, were arrested in California in connection to the same shooting. The 5 men, Cav London Grant, DeAndre Dantrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and ASA Houston, were charged with conspiracy to commit murder and have been transferred to Los Angeles for trial. The murder-for-hire plot is believed to be connected to the 2020 shooting that killed Lil Durk's close friend and collaborator, King Von. The fatal shooting occurred outside an Atlanta nightclub when King Von's group clashed with Quando Rondo's crew. Sources say King Von attacked Rondo, leading to a violent confrontation that escalated into a shootout. King Von was shot multiple times and died at the hospital. El Tim, an associate of Quando Rondo, was quickly identified as King Von's killer, and his arrest seemed like the end of the story. However, the events that followed sparked a bitter feud between Lil Durk and Quando Rondo, setting Durk on a path of seeking revenge. In the past, Durk and Rondo would release diss tracks or talk about each other in interviews, with Durk once calling Rondo a small boy and claiming he used to grip him by the neck.
Rondo's a little boy.
Well, I mean, that's his
I
height.
used to have him like this.
You mean Quando?
Saying 63rd. Me and
Quando Rondo and his crew openly dissed 63rd in a video shared on his social media.
Now we coming.
We on 64.
We got both of this.
Hey, we on 64.
The tension between Lil Durk and Quando Rondo was deeply connected to the rivalry over King Von's death. Durk had strong ties to the 63rd Street area in Chicago's Parkway Gardens complex, which Von was associated with. However, Von later claimed that 64th Street was his area. The feud between Durk and Rondo escalated after King Von's untimely death, with fans pushing Durk to get revenge, which they referred to as sliding for Von. These fans might have influenced the crime that led to Durk's arrest. Durk's hatred for Rondo likely intensified after Von's death, but the animosity began before the actual murder, going back to when King Von and Quando Rondo crossed paths. In 2018, NBA Youngboy, who founded the Never Broke Again NBA record label, took Rondo under his wing, while Durk brought Von into his OTF crew. Von and Rondo initially got along, and Von was even a big fan of NBA Youngboy, often listening to his music and idolizing him. However, the relationship soured when Von dissed Youngboy, which led to a public fallout. Fans believe this Instagram live session was the turning point, where Von criticized Youngboy's music and efforts.
Young boy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this man.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his ass, man.
On his
All that cap. You got cap in your raps.
At first, the feud between NBA Youngboy and King Von seemed like just an attempt for attention, but things quickly got more serious. They started attacking each other online, sharing personal details, including their relationships. Rumors spread that Von had dated Youngboy's baby mama, which made things worse. The rivalry between Youngboy and Von eventually turned into a beef between their friends, Lil Durk and Quando Rondo. Youngboy's beef with Von extended to Durk, and he released diss tracks about them. Rondo did the same, directly attacking Von, which was not well received by Durk and his crew. The tension grew, and both sides kept throwing insults online, but things escalated when the two crews met at the Monaco Hookah Lounge on November 6, 2020. An argument broke out, turning physical, and soon shots were fired, killing 3 men, including the beloved King Von. 3 others were wounded. King Von was rushed to the hospital but died during surgery. L. Tim, a friend of Rondo, was arrested and charged with the murder of Von, but was allowed to post a $100,000 bond a few months later, allegedly paid for by Rondo. This was surprising since the nature of the crime usually prevents such bail. Eventually, in August 2023, L. Tim's lawyer announced that the case had been dismissed. L. Tim later mentioned the dismissal in a song, explaining that the charges were dropped, though it wasn't due to any legal reasons. After King Von's death, Quando Rondo and his camp celebrated, while Lil Durk and OTF mourned. Quando Rondo showed no remorse for Von's death, even referencing it in his songs and interviews. He dissed Von in his track End of Story, and during a virtual concert, he rapped about Von's death with no regret. In another feature with NBA, Youngboy, Rondo taunted Von and even mocked his death, calling Von's killer L. Tim a hero. Rondo went further, calling L. Tim his twin and showing loyalty to him for protecting him on the night Von was killed. Rondo continued to provoke Durk and OTF by releasing more diss tracks, including Could Have Been Me in August 2024, where he mocked Durk's situation. Meanwhile, fans fueled the SL for V campaign, calling for Durk to get revenge on Rondo for Von's death. Initially, Durk ignored the campaign, but during an interview with DJ Academics, Durk admitted that he had been bothered by the Slide for V comments and acknowledged the pressure fans had placed on him to take action.
To say, but you also mentioned a song. They be like, they be saying Slide for Von. I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, them songs is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see the comments no more.
After Lil Durk's arrest, fans revisited his 2023 interview and connected the dots, speculating that his dismissive attitude toward the Slide for Von movement meant that he had already taken care of Von's killer, or at least ordered a hit on Quando Rondo. While Rondo survived, the 2022 shooting, which prosecutors now claim was ordered by Durk, led to the death of Rondo's cousin, LP. Some fans believed that Durk accidentally implicated himself in his interview with DJ Academics, where he made subtle references to his actions, suggesting that he had avenged Von's death. Durk's recent legal troubles shocked many fans, especially considering his public transformation just 2 months before his arrest. Durk had embraced Islam and distanced himself from gang life, claiming that he no longer identified with his past affiliations. He even shared on social media that he was a Muslim and would no longer gangbang, urging his followers to support his new chapter in life. His change in outlook was noticed by many, and the community in Broadview, Chicago, even honored him with a key to the city. However, after his arrest, the mayor revoked the honor, citing the community's moral standards and the potential consequences if Durk were found guilty. Now, with Durk denied bond and facing a potential life sentence for federal charges, his fate hangs in the balance. His journey from rebranding his life to being caught in a legal storm reflects the complicated reality of his situation.